Hello, everyone. It's Eric. As promised, I'm here to provide like an extra lesson because we had a class not too long ago that was not up to my standards. So I want to talk about the concept of perimeter and area, which is kind of a big concept, but I at the very least want to expose you to it. I don't expect anybody after this to be, wizards at this sort of thing, but I do want to kind of introduce this concept, just expose you guys to it, because it's something that I really would have liked to get the chance to cover, but it doesn't look like I'm going to have time. So let's go ahead and start by, coming up with a scenario. Let's say I go out into the street and I get some chalk and I draw a big rectangle on the asphalt. And I ask myself, how big is this rectangle? There's a few different ways to talk about how big this rectangle is. I could see how many steps it takes to walk around this rectangle. So I could say, okay, well, it takes me 10 steps to go around this side. It takes me 12 steps to go around this side. It takes me 10 steps to go around this side because, it's a rectangle, so it'll be same on either side. And for that reason, this will also take me 12 steps. So I can say, all right, what is that? 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 12. So that looks like that will be 44. So I could say, this is 44 steps. It takes me 44 steps to go around this rectangle. And I can say that's how big it is. It's 44 steps big. This measurement, the way we've done this, walking along the outside of this rectangle, we call this a perimeter. The perimeter just means the total length around the sides of a shape. That's all it means. So importantly, perimeter is a length of some kind, right? So I measured this in steps. I could take a ruler or a tape measure and measure each side as well and add them all together, and I'd have, I don't know, however many feet that is, or however many inches that is, or centimeters, or who cares. But I have some sort of number and some sort of unit associated with that number, right? So I have 44 steps. I don't just have 44 and that's it. I have some sort of unit to describe, oh, what does this number stand for? I erase everything. So perimeter is one way of measuring a shape, and it can be done for shapes other than rectangles, right? A triangle, you would just measure the three sides, or, in our example, walk around the three sides, and just add up three sides instead of adding up four sides. You could maybe say like, whoa, what if I step along the diagonal, and I can say the diagonal is pretty big. This thing has a diagonal distance that's this many steps, and that will tell me how big the rectangle is. That might be good for comparing rectangles to other rectangles, but if I want to compare like different shapes and try and say like, oh, this rectangle is bigger than this triangle, that might not really work out. So unfortunately, the diagonal lengths don't really work out. I think TVs are oftentimes, when they tell you, oh, this TV is this big, they'll give you a diagonal length, which once again makes sense if you're comparing it to other TVs, because pretty much every TV is a rectangle. But we want to keep things general. We want to make it so that like whatever way we're measuring this rectangle will work if we're measuring a triangle, a circle, whatever. We want to find measurements that are reasonable for any shape. So I have another thought. Rather than talking about the outside, talking about how long a path the outside is, why don't I talk about the inside? Why don't I talk about how much stuff could fit inside? Maybe I get, what kind of shape could I get? What could I get that I could put a bunch of them inside? I could get like a box. Yeah. One second. One second. I could get a box like this, right? And what I could do is I could say, all right, I'm gonna line up a bunch of boxes. Let's just pretend I've got a bunch of them. Don't ask why. I have a bunch of boxes, and I'm just gonna line up these boxes. I'm gonna fill the whole inside of this shape with these boxes, and seeing how many boxes can fit inside the shape. How many can I shove inside of the shape? And I'm going to come up with some number of boxes. I am not going to fill in the entire rectangle. All right. So I'm just going to pull a number out of thin air. Just accept that I didn't think too hard about this. I just don't want to fill in all those boxes. Say 80. Let's say it takes 80 boxes. I can say that 80 boxes fills up the rectangle completely, and therefore the rectangle is 80 boxes big, whatever that means. What we have just done by doing this is calculate an area. So this is distinctly different from a perimeter. So in area, unlike perimeter, which was calculating a length, it's calculating a distance from one thing to another, the area is trying to figure out how much stuff I could fit inside of this shape. So it is giving me the two-dimensional space inside of this rectangle. And that is a huge distinction that I want us to be able to understand. Perimeter versus area. I'm not fixing it. I will fix that. Perimeter versus area. So a perimeter is measuring a one-dimensional thing, 1D. It is measuring length. Oh man, am I gonna have to? That's not how that's spelled, Eric. Okay. All right, I am gonna have to erase this thing. Oh, so sad. Get out of here. Okay. So it is measuring a length. It's measuring this one-dimensional thing. It is talking about, if I have a yard, how much fencing do I need for my yard? It's talking about how long it takes me to, or how many steps it takes me to walk around my neighborhood. That's the sort of thing perimeter is telling me. Area is a two-dimensional measurement. So I am measuring not the length, not this one-dimensional quantity. I am measuring the amount of space that something takes up. How much space does something take up? So these are distinctly different things. And because of that, they would use different units. I measured my perimeter in steps. Whereas I measured my area in boxes. So very, very different. I don't believe I have anything else to say. I am tempted to try and actually, give examples and go further. But I think honestly, this is where I want to stop. I don't want to turn this into like a lesson where we have to actually do calculations. I simply want to introduce this idea of perimeter, this measurement of length, of distance around a shape, and area, which is the amount of space that shape takes up. That is what I want to get across. And I think that will do it for me. Strangely, this is like our last actual math lesson because next week I intend to just have us, play kind of like math games and, do things that are a little, that are stress free at the end of the year. I'm not going to be introducing any new math. So this will be the last new thing you see. I hope that you guys have enjoyed being in my class. I certainly enjoyed having all of you. So I'll see you guys, if you guys are watching this over the weekend, when I give it to your parents, I will see you guys on Tuesday and, we'll celebrate the end of the year together. All right? Take care, everyone.